Hi, welcome to Mystic Frequency. I'm Lisa, and I'm a collective tarot reader here on this channel. And if you felt called to this reading, let me just say, I'm sending you a lot of love right now. And normally when I do these quick readings, I do a flip over and then I build up to it so as we're revealing what Spirit is trying to come through with a benevolent message. But today was a little bit different because I feel as if whoever is here with me today, and thank you for holding space if you come to this reading and you find out that it's nothing that you are currently going through, but you're listening and allowing it to play and hopefully send it off in the right direction. But I feel like whoever's here with me today, you have been flipping over stones your entire life, one stone at a time, trying to find where you fit in life. And ultimately, it's like it's a distraction for you. So that way you don't have to look at all the other stones that you have turned over. And it also feels as if you've had to go through a lot of moments in your life where you've had to recover after completely losing things and ultimately having to start all over again. Whoever's here is probably one of the strongest will-spirited person that I have probably ever felt their energy. And I just want to let you know you're not alone. And this reading is to let you know that all the work you have been putting in, all the shadow work, all the lessons, the counseling you are setting out and you're doing all this self-improvement is not for waste. You may not see that you are about to rise from whatever ashes that you were surrounded with. You may not see it, you may not feel it, and you may not even know that by just walking away from something in your life, whether it be a career that no longer fulfills you, that doesn't help you save and actually makes you feel as if you have to hold on to everything, or a relationship that you feel as if you're having to hold on for so much but not receive what it is that you need. But ultimately, this energy is telling me that there's someone here who is about to be walking away from something that no longer made them feel whole, made them feel less. And they are now on their own personal journey of self-discovery. And by stepping away and taking the cup that they can pour into themselves. So this is an Ace of Cups almost kind of feeling for me, where you were doing all the self-care, all the self-love. You were looking at your shadows. You're looking at the things that you can still recover, things that you thought were weaknesses, things that you thought made you different. And you're finding that all of these flaws that you probably did feel shame for, or were told were worthless, or they weren't good for anything, are actually probably one of the most valuable things that you're going to carry with you and light a new path. Whoever I'm speaking to today, Spirit wants you to know that you are worth saving. That Spirit is taking you into their arms and basically saying, I'm not going to let any more hurt or anybody that has ill intentions to really come down your path again. And is basically putting this light up in the sky saying to all of these other people that you may cross paths with, that unless they mean well, unless they mean to offer that ability in which you're not the only one building in your life, that only then will they be allowed to come in and see what it is that you are protecting, that you are keeping hold of greatly. And Spirit wants you to forgive yourself, to accept what has happened in your past, and give yourself grace to make mistakes. To not focus on the cups that have been those points in your life where you have said, yep, that was my bad. Yep, I'm just a failure. Yep, I'm not worth anything. The clothes on my back aren't even worth anything. And they're wanting you to realize that your cup this entire time should have never been placed with all of these other cups. Because these other cups made you feel as if you needed to hide yourself. You needed to hide your passions, that you needed to, like when you were in a relationship, you felt as if you couldn't even bring the person you were with to anybody that you knew. You were at a period in your life where it was very hard to take care of yourself. You had other people telling you what was a priority, what you were solely meant to focus on, and that everything else that you truly cared about up here in your mind wasn't worth looking into. But your higher self, your shadow self, is trying to show you that the things that you did think were flaws were worthy of love and belonging. That you need, here it is again, where you need to forgive yourself for not giving yourself enough love. You may have looked yourself in the mirror and said, okay, tomorrow I'll start this routine. Tomorrow I'll start eating a little bit more healthy. Tomorrow I'll take that shower even though I know I really need it right now. Or tomorrow I'll start saying what it is that I want to say to the people that I am around. Tomorrow I'll speak up for myself. Tomorrow I'll climb that mountain. Tomorrow I'll deal with that obstacle. But you realized that the one cup that you should have been paying attention to, you may have become very emotionally detached from it. And may have even discovered that you are protecting yourself from unwanted drama or stress. It's like, if I step out into the world, if I answer that phone call, I'm just going to get drug into other people's problems. I'm just going to get told, this is something that I need to deal with, that it's my job. And it may have been really hard for you to feel very positive about yourself, to be able to allow all of your emotions to come through and feel freely. You may have had all of these emotions, like all the ones that you were allowed to express, were in your hands, and then you may have been denied one form of that physical expression. And just like how she's kind of pouting in this picture, she's at this point where she's not going to allow that. She's allowed to have all range of emotions. One of the things that may have really kind of hurt you in your past is these inconsistencies that may have been in your life through the people you have been around, through the promises that may have been done or said. It could have been, these are the changes we're going to make. Or when you did speak up and did say, I'm going to leave. I cannot deal with this. And then you finally tell everyone what you have been holding on to and the one thing that you won't settle for. And people may have said, okay, I'll change. I'll do whatever you need me to do. And then you stay a little bit longer because you have this pure heart. You have this deep belief in a person's ability to change because you have had to do it your entire life. And you understand how often that you've had to change in order to keep those around you. But then Spirit is here and wanting you to really think about how people may not be in control of their own thoughts, actions, and routines, and that their inconsistencies can really reveal whether or not they are someone that is deserving of being in your life. If they're not going to show up on a daily basis, then you shouldn't have to show up for them. And yeah, other people's jealousy may have added like this wound where like as soon as you started doing well for yourself, as soon as you started saving and putting back and pouring back into yourself and taking care of everything that needed more structure and stability in your life, and you started doing the things that made you feel good and lit up. But then it's as soon as it came through, maybe you started talking to people who were at that point when you were pouring into yourself, you were very magnetic. And now, anytime you start to attract all of these good positive energies, it's like this one energy comes in and says, that was mine, and I'm going to fight really hard to hold on to it. And that causes a lot of open wounds because maybe they do start to work on themselves as well, and you're not the only one working on yourself, and the people around you start to change. But then as soon as you give them the benefit of the doubt, you turn back and realize all of these other times that you have given them the benefit of the doubt. Spirit wants you to work on self-love more than anything, and wants you to understand you are far greater than you know. And when you start to see that others are telling you that you are emotionally overreacting, that in a sense, maybe your emotions were justified. Maybe if you hadn't had to bottle everything up, maybe if you didn't have to save all the things that you wanted to say in this relationship, it wouldn't have gotten to this point. And I don't think you really need to say anything more. You know if this reading is for you, because if it's resonated and you've stayed here at this point, then you've already said everything that you've wanted to say. You have saved all of the reserves that you could possibly save to keep holding on to this relationship, and now they have dried up. And now you need to go on your own spiritual journey. You need to go on your own healing journey. And people may have gaslit you all around you. And I know that is a term that gets overused at times, but anytime you were thinking about the ways in which someone was treating you, it was like it was disregarded. And you're a problem solver. You're trying to think of, okay, was it me that was causing the problems in the way I operate in my life? Or am I delusional? Do I have delulu and that what people are saying is actually true? Can it be? I mean, these are shadow work cards that I have pulled today. And if you do feel like some of these are some traits that you may see in your own shadows, then this is an opportunity to reflect on those shadows so that way you can have a good conversation. But if these are traits that you have seen in other people, This is asking you to notice when people show up, when people become jealous when you're doing good for yourself, when people become jealous because you get promoted, when people get jealous because you do the work that you're supposed to do, when you do save up and you have all of this wealth. But Spirit wants you to know that this is a time to kind of deal with any kind of emotions you have not processed, that you haven't healed or haven't been able to release, because you're at a point in your life where you are walking along this river, and that is the greatest opportunity to just kind of like let it go, let it all out. And you'll find that once you do, maybe even, whenever you're putting your head under the water, or if your head has been under the water, you can pull your head out and see that there's a whole sky above you, that there is someone that has been watching over you, that wants you to use the moon's light so that way you can walk forward again. And anything that you may have used as a coping mechanism, whether it be alone in your room where you're just trying to drown the noise out or drown the thoughts out, or anything that may be considered an addiction, not just, alcohol or drugs. This can be a video game addiction. This can be oh goodness. Spirit just gave me a blank. Food is another thing, or where you just kind of tune yourself out from the environment around you. You may find that you get wrapped up in stories, you get wrapped up into, like, if you probably spend a lot of time helping with other people's drama, because it helps you not to really pay attention to the drama that may be going on in your life. But the person that is here today, that has shown up, that has clicked into this reading, you're using this reading as almost a confirmation of, yeah, I have been doing all this work. Yeah, I have had to walk away from a lot of things in my life. I've had to save a lot of my own time for someone else to take away from my own hard-earned money. And I now realize that I need to put myself first. I need to process the emotions that I have. I need to do that soul search deep within my own soul and recover parts of myself that I may have lost. And whoever's here today, you've already been doing the shadow work. You've already been doing the self-preservation in order to move forward with this next move. This is something you are mastering over in your own emotions, where when you realize you do need to take action, that is when you have the most peak motivation in order to carry yourself down this road, up this hill, so that way you can process things. But the biggest thing I'm hearing today is you're not flawed. There's nothing wrong with you. You're rediscovering yourself. You're learning how to forgive yourself. You're learning how to love yourself. You're learning how to hold what you give so freely to the world for yourself. And the 3 Pentacles here makes me think of the 3 Pentacles, where you are finding ways in which you can start collaborating with your heart, with your mind, with your spirit, with your body. And you're listening to what they have to tell you that may be inconsistent. You're trying to think about these thought patterns. You're unweaving the spider web in which you were forced to create in a different gravity. But if there's one thing that was revealed about spiders who are having to learn how to make gravity in space, is that you can still make something really beautiful of yourself when you discover where the sun is shining, where there is light in your life. You don't need to look at how other people are healing themselves. You need to do what helps heal you, what makes you feel good, what makes you feel deserving, what makes you feel as if you have a right to your emotional needs, that you have a right to exist, that you have a right to forgive yourself when you do make mistakes, that you have a right to give yourself room, to give yourself a buffer time when you do make mistakes. And when people do not cut the crap out, when people choose their negative ego, when people choose to stay consistent in their own addictions, that you will be willing to walk away and choose a path where you are attached to what is deserving of your soul in this moment. Now, before I leave, I do want to read the Phoenix so that way we can end this on a really good book note. But I am so proud of you. I want you to know that I am sending you a lot of love. I have been down this road in my life. I have been through each of these levels in my own upbringing, and it is tough. Some days you don't have the strength, but you try to show up at least 1% for yourself. You try to put a little bit of you in everything that you are doing. So take this time to give yourself a hug. Take this time to say, I matter. I am strong. I can be consistent. I can prove to myself that I can give myself exactly everything I need in alignment to my highest good. Phoenix, freedom from suffering and past karma, reincarnation. The phoenix represents the transformation of our past. It doesn't mean running from it, denying it, or burning bridges with rage. The phoenix employs an advanced technique described in yoga as the burning of impurities through practice and dedication. The essence of the phoenix is with us when we realize we have been suffering too long and something must change. We take a stand and decide to live consciously instead of being driven by the unconscious mind and its long list of fears and diversions. At that very moment, the spark of the phoenix is lit, and the great bird helps us burn through our baggage. We no longer run from who we are, what has happened to us, or what we have done. The stuckness and dead weight fall into the ashes, and a lightness and clarity emerge. As the stagnancy continues to smolder, the phoenix lifts our spirits up, and we begin to recognize ourselves. We begin to recognize ourselves again. We may catch a glimmer in our eye that wasn't there before. Look closely. It's a sign that fire of transformation is upon your wings. The phoenix in the first chakra. The ancient yogis believed that our heaviest karmas resided in the first chakra. This earthen center is also called Muladhara, or our root. The ascent of the phoenix begins here, and as the entanglement of karmas is slowly burned, it rises from the ash toward the navel center. Again and again, it makes this journey from first to third chakra, purifying our essence, freeing us from the past. You are learning as you are going. You are learning how to balance out the first three chakras. So if you've had a severely overcritical upbringing, where all your actions were focused under a microscope, or whenever you sought to prove yourself, it wasn't enough. Forgive yourself. Forgive what you were not capable of in that moment of learning. that you do have a purpose, that you do have something worth sharing. All the proof that you have using to prove your worth is something that you should turn and see that you're proving it for yourself. You're proving that there's no need to have to keep on working so hard as you have been working in order to find that unconditional love where you can be accepted for all the emotions and all of these flaws that you think you have. But the Phoenix is here to really help lift your spirit up through this process as you find more stability in your life, as you find more energy to create manifestations within you, because you're starting to see that the more that you do for yourself, the more the world around you changes. And I'm going to go ahead and end this reading here. I will say I tried very hard not to cry because, and that may be something you struggle with as well, my listener, is it's hard to release something that you may have not been able to release, except maybe when you are alone. But I want you to know you are not alone. That spirit has been with you this entire time and has been trying to show you ways in which you are beautiful and truly amazing to be around. And that your people that are deserving of your cup that you're leaving with, they're about to meet you. But just keep pouring into yourself, my love. And if you enjoyed this content and don't mind all the wacky random videos I post a little bit of everything and a little bit of anything. And it's just whatever I feel spirit really wants me to talk about. But I'm here with you. The Phoenix is here with you. Spirit's here with you. You have a blessed day. And one of the best ways to help support my channel is just by leaving a like. Let me know, in what ways are you going to focus on what needs to leave in your life, what needs to be poured out, and what is something in your life that you are truly focused on that is deserving of your time. Let me know. Bye, guys.